Hi everybody, welcome back to Cosmic Hearts Healing. Today I wanted to come on to talk about Mercury going direct. It has been retrograde in Leo and we just went to Virgo season. So the ways that it has been showing us is ways that we can empower ourselves and become stronger in our own being. And then it's been, for me, clearing out my mind, trying to get my mind to align with that. At the very start of Mercury going retrograde, it really either attracted people to show me how far that I've come, either by letting them match where I'm at, or I don't want to say testing me, but by putting me into certain situations and me seeing that I'm responding differently, or bringing me back to situations that I can kind of relate to. Wow, I was there back in 2016. So in one way, shape, or form, you might be experiencing that in your own world, seeing how far you've come, or seeing ways that you could grow. So if they're showing you ways that you grow, they're always showing you spiritually. You can get, for me, I get guidance spiritually. I get them in my sleep. You see signs and things. They can show you an animal. Like, you can see ways that they're trying to tell you ways spiritually that you need to work on yourself. Mentally, when I still had to work on my attachment style, abandonment, betrayal, rejection, the codependency, all of those create almost like plots and storylines in your head. So by really getting to understand your own mental processes and why you're processing the things that you do, rather than creating a story, you learn how to ask a question, and then from that response, you learn how to move. You don't just create a story and then move. So what happens, especially with fearful, avoidant attachment style, you could be having a life journey and then you start to create a story in your head that is most likely out of abandonment, rejection, shame, and then that moves you down a different path where the more and more that you heal and rise above these energies, the more and more your path stays clear. So the word that I was getting for this Mercury direct is rise up and stability. So what do you need to rise up to find more stability? Or if you have already rose up a bunch, trying to stay stable in that. Ways that I've done that is I've really worked through all those core wounds that I just said: abandonment, betrayal, shame, conflict trauma, rejection, my attachment style, emotional intelligence, mind control. So the more and more that I've worked on those things, if I look at the conscious projections and the subconscious projections of those core wounds, and I'm acting out of them some way, shape, or form, rather than flowing in my highest alignment, those conscious or subconscious are going to pull me off. And every time they're pulling you off, it's just showing you something that you need to work on in yourself. And if you have friends or a healer or anybody who is willing to work on that with you and flow that with you, and you guys can have healthy conflict skills and work through it, that is amazing. The friends who show up to me that way, thank you, love you. But yeah, so you're some way, shape, or form seeing what you need to change, whether it be through spiritual, your mind, what you feel. So, I'm feeling this old wound pop up. That's not who I am anymore. I just need to let that go. Or I'm feeling abandoned right now, but I'm really not. I'm just sitting here driving my car and, I'm just living life. And so you start to feel into all those wounds too. And then sometimes in our life, if we planted unhealthy seeds, it all just uproots, or we uproot it by those thoughts and our minds of those woundings that we create. My guides have told me before that you choose who you show up as. You can choose to do the work and show up as a healthy companion, or a healthy partner, or a healthy friend, or a healthy healer, or you can not see your truth and you can show up as a karmic. Any of those things. So it's really up to you who you choose to show up as. Don't carry the burdens of how other people are showing up. That's has a lot to do with the codependency. So if you haven't worked through that yet, that might be coming up for you. Not carrying the burdens of other people, saying this is what I have to do to show up as my highest self for me and for you, and focus on that alignment. So if you know yourself, you don't have healthy discernment, then what are you doing to change that? If you're just still focused on the physical, which I understand sometimes you're going through it, but you also have to give yourself a little bit of time. I don't care if it's 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day, to be doing the inner work to change it. So healthy discernment has to do with trusting yourself, trusting your guides, learning how to discern people. You do that by understanding your own consciousness and subconsciousness. You can read about human nature. You can read about hormones, how your hormones move you, and there's so much that you can learn. So to help you discern and see things more clearly. So depending on what's coming up for you, what you're seeing there, my spirit guides are telling me once it goes direct, it is time to take action on that. Don't wait for other people. Don't play the game of I can't change because my world's not changing. Because if you do that game, nothing's going to change. Even if a lot of times in my world, people don't change, I still love them. Even though I'm not showing up the same in my world because I'm breaking my unhealthy habits within me, I'm showing up differently to these people, but I'm choosing not to show up as a karmic partner. I'm choosing to show up as a healthy companion, a healthy friend, a healthy human. So even sometimes just having the awareness that something that you're used to that's comfortable, like you might not even realize that you enable, you might not even realize you people please, you might not even realize you have toxic shame, because toxic shame is one of the hardest energies to recognize within yourself. It's really a form of like lack, or I'm not good enough. So working through all those things and actually recognizing it is step one. So recognizing that even though you've kind of had whatever kind of childhood that you've had, that you still could have stuff to work on. For me, I'm finding comfort in walking in the new energy. I've done a lot of that inner work, and I said in 2024 that I'm ready to break those old patterns. I'm ready to break free of it. So I've been working with Helios, the sun god, who helps you to break free. So he's really helping me to stay on my path to break free from that stuff. But it's also finding comfort in it, because I find that once you heal it emotionally, mentally, once you learn about it mentally, you start healing it on the inside, you heal it spiritually, you're doing the work, you're breaking the patterns on the physical. And then once it's time to like be freed, like right now for me, it's freeing in my spiritual story. So I'm saying goodbye to guides who have been in my life for a while now, and that creates a bond. So I'm kind of experiencing like a grief and like a sadness that some of these ancestors that I've been working with, even though they're still around, but what we worked on together is complete. So I've been closing out a lot of the spiritual stories, and as I'm closing that out, it is bringing up some stuff in my mind, and I'm working through them with all the healthy tools that I gained. So if I haven't gained those healthy tools, maybe I would still be trying to work on mind control. How do I get a healthy mind? How do I stay in the present? I just shared a post about that today. So if you're still trying to work on that, if you want to read that post. So depending on what you're at and what you're seeing, it's going to be different for everyone, but it's just finding comfort in trying to walk that new path and taking action on it. So the words that I heard was rise above, stability, don't take it for granted, and it's hard earned. So rise up, I think I already explained, is just rising up, learning about all these core wounds. If you haven't studied emotional intelligence and you study it, you rise up. If you haven't studied mind control and you study it, you rise up. If you have unhealthy anger and unprocessed anger, and if you have any resentment towards anyone or any being, it is unprocessed energy, unprocessed anger. It's just a guide to you. So every time that you heal something, you're rising up. Every time, solar plexus has a lot to do with strength. So if you are healing one of these, you're going to rise up and you're going to move more into these. Okay. So when I had shame, I lacked confidence and I was more passive. I was kind of more weak-willed. But the more and more that I heal, I have healthy will. I will take action. I will ask a question. I will speak rather than trying to avoid or create a story. Just ask a question. And understanding that my power comes from within me. It doesn't come from anyone outside me. No one can drain it. Only I can give it away when I choose to give it away. Only I can drain it when I choose to drain it. Yeah, sometimes life creates a storm and you will naturally be drained, but the more and more you rise above all these things, the more and more that you can stay stable. So rising up, the more and more you rise up, the more you stay stable. And then I was asking for the past week or two why, because I've read stories about archangels who have fallen, like dark angels, black angels. I'm like, how does that even happen? And the words that they told me today during a client session is don't ever take this for granted. So as I was closing up old cycles and I was sending love to everyone who's played a role, or my guides, or everyone who's helped me learn, and for my own hard work, I was just saying, like, I don't want to repeat this. I don't ever want to take it for granted, because I don't want to repeat these patterns or cycles again, even though I love all these humans who have taught me this. I don't want to I don't want to relearn it. I feel like I've been working with some humans or their energies for lifetimes, and so don't take it for granted, and just remember it's hard earned. So as I was setting the intention, I was like, I will never take this for granted. I will always embrace how hard earned it is. And once you find stability and you find peace and in your world, it is a very peaceful place. You don't want to take it for granted. If you have someone, a friend or a healthy support, or someone come into your world who can offer you this, if you have friendships like this, don't take it for granted. I know anyone of who is like, I might be Rose, but someone else who's my friend might be higher in another topic, but I might be lower in another topic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can trigger each other, but if you have healthy communications, healthy conflict skills, then you can work through that. And if you don't lack confidence and you trust each other, then that will just keep flowing. Like, you don't take them for granted. You're fearful avoidant doesn't make you create stories of lack or any of that, and you don't have to run and avoid. Like that push-pull energy, that's so unhealthy. But if you have someone who can show up for you, try to stay. However, even if it's just once a month, or even if it's just as a friend, however they show up, try to create a healthy bond that works for you. Don't take something for granted that's like me having a spirit guide and they come down and they share knowledge with me, and me take them for granted and just be like, I don't have time to talk to you, or I can't speak to you right now. And like, I know it's hard sometimes to take in the energy of what we need to heal or what we need to see, but don't take it for granted. When you start taking things for granted and you start taking people for granted, you're on the wrong side of the energy, and that's when things can get pulled away. That's a message that I just got right now. I didn't have that on my paper. So, yeah, hopefully everyone had a good Mercury. When it goes direct, take action, don't wait, rise up, find your stability. If you have your stability, it might feel all different for you as you're trying to live that stability fully. Be uncomfortable in the stuff that it's bringing up for you. Be uncomfortable in the new ways of being, and enjoy. And everyone have a good day. All right, bye.